Sarah Carter is the director of the Office of National Drug Control Policy, a.k.a. the Drug Czar. Sarah Carter, of course, the amazing broadcast journalist, investigative journalist. Saw you on other networks over the years and platforms. You're fantastic. Sarah Carter, congratulations on this role. I know you've been fulfilling it. You bet, you bet. Hey, this has been a dramatic turnaround, fair to say?
Oh, absolutely fair to say. And this is all due to President Donald J. Trump. This is his policy. This is our national drug control strategy. We are hitting the cartels at every single choke point, Greg. From the border, land, sea, and air, we're making sure that the cartels cannot find their way into this country. And we're doing that by taking the fight to them. We're not allowing them to operate with impunity anymore in our nation or in the Western Hemisphere. We're working with our partners throughout the Western Hemisphere. I was just recently in Argentina with IDEC, with the DEA, with Administrator Terry Cole. I've been working very closely with our partners in Mexico, had great conversations with the Ministry of Security there, Omar Harfouch. We are working together to ensure that the cartels do not operate any more freely. And the numbers are showing it. President Trump's strategy is working. Why? Because under the Biden administration, the border was wide open. The highest point of overdose deaths that we saw in the United States was under President Biden, with over 112,000 deaths. That's in 2022 to 2023. We're looking right now at under 68,000 overall deaths, which is still way too many, but that's 40% down from the highest point. And by the way, those are the lowest numbers since March 2017. That's almost in a decade. So we are seeing enormous success. I was at the White House today, Greg. I met with angel families. I talked with young people in our drug-free communities program at our Office of National Drug Control Policy. They were there to share their stories. It was incredible. And I was also with our law enforcement officers at our USIC Awards. We are awarding them for doing the tough job, for going out there and fighting the fight, spending days, weeks, months away from their families, putting their lives on the line every single day to ensure that our families are safe, to ensure that our nation is safe. And President Trump wanted them to know how much we appreciate them, how much we honor them, and they are saving lives, because every single person that is alive today, because we put the pressure on the cartels, because we've stopped the drugs from coming into this country, is another person that's sitting at the dinner table with their family, is another person that has a chance to rehab, is another child that isn't being poisoned by fentanyl pills that are on our streets, that are fake pills, that pose as Adderall, Oxycontin. And by the way, it's not just that. We're taking out the coca. We're taking out the cocaine. We're making sure that they do not have the money in their coffers so that they can pay for their army of men. This is about destroying the cartels, dismantling them with our Homeland Security task forces, working together as a whole of government to target these nefarious organizations and take them out of the picture. And this is what President Trump wants. He wants to save lives. He wants to destroy the cartels. And this is exactly what we are doing.
And President Trump is aware of the progress and the success. Of course, he's leading it with you right by his side. Let's take a look at President Trump not too long ago, C08.
Now, we've cut the flow of fentanyl across our border by 64%. Think of that. 64. And by the way, coming in by water, fentanyl coming in, down 97%.
Well, that is amazing.
Incredible.
How are we doing in terms of demand? You know, the people who produce these drugs, their governments sometimes point to America. Hey, you know, don't blame us. It's also you guys. There's a lot of demand in America. And that's part of the equation. How are we doing in that area?
We're doing great. Look, we are working together as a whole of government. I was with Secretary Kennedy. I was with Secretary Turner. We were in San Diego together. We are working together to fight the demand side. We're working together to provide treatment and recovery with effective programs, not programs that are just stealing taxpayer dollars or stealing the American hard-earned dollars. We are working together with people that want to make a difference in this country, and we are going to ensure, and we have made a promise promise that we are going to ensure that every single American, whether they are fighting and struggling right now with dependency and substance use disorder or addiction, that they will have the opportunity to find where they need to be to get better and to get help. Look, we see this as a chronic disease. This is a chronic disease. And for so many people, it is tough. It takes a lot of years. It takes a lot of fight. It takes their family supporting them and working with them. But more importantly, it takes the person making their own decision to get better. We want to be there to support those who want to get better, and we're going to ensure that we do that by providing treatment first. Okay, housing is important, but housing does very little if you don't provide treatment. We want people to live. We do not want to lead people to death. We want them to live. So we want to get them the treatment that they need. We want to get them off the streets. We want to help them. And that is exactly what we're doing. And we're doing that even through our DFC programs. That's our drug-free community programs. We're so excited about that. I know it's very important to the Senate, to Congress. We're doing that with our HIDAs, with our high-intensity drug trafficking teams that are out on the streets every day, not only fighting crime, but also working with young people throughout local communities to give them what they need so that they have the tools to fight back. And more importantly, Greg, we are listening. We are listening to our youth. We are working with them. And I promise you, we have so much in the future. We're working with MLB. I'm so excited about that. Major League Baseball. We're working with so many other sports enterprises and folks. And we've got so much to share with the American people as time goes on. And of course, we couldn't do this without President Donald Trump.
Sarah Carter, the drug czar. Real quick, we knew you as the investigative journalist, and it was a little bit of a surprising appointment, but it also makes sense. How did that career kind of set you up to be really excellent at this job and passionate about it?
Oh, thank you so much for asking, Greg. You know, I was on the front lines of that battlefield my entire career. I spent 25 years covering the drug cartels on the U.S.-Mexico border, traveling through Central America, traveling through Mexico, and I also spent a good portion of that covering the war in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and covering Al-Qaeda, Islamic State, spending time in like some of the worst places. But even throughout all of the terrible things that I saw, that I was reporting on, I also saw hope. And I saw that there was possibilities, right? Despite all of that. And that's why I'm here, because I know in my heart that the American people are ready. We want to change, and that together we are going to make a difference, that together we're going to be able to fight this. And I think that's what my career was able to do. And look, I'm still investigating. When I get a report, when I get something on my desk, I'm just like you. I want to find out what's really going on here. I want to challenge those people that we are talking to every single day in my office. I want to talk to my partners in the international community, and I want to hold them accountable. I want to hold myself accountable. And that's what's most important for me, is working together. And I think my career as an investigative journalist just set me right up for that. And I feel honored and humbled to be serving President Donald Trump, and even more so the American people.
So cool. Sarah Carter, the director of the Office of National Drug Control Policy, the drug czar, or technically, I guess it would be drug czarina, right? That's the female drug. That's a female version of czar. Czarina. That sounds very cool, too. Drug czar, drug czarina. Sarah Carter, we thank you very, very much.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.